Hey everybody, it's me again, David again, and I'm going to bring you one of the best tools I've ever gotten, cordless, for $1. And yes, it is a writing utensil, the Milwaukee Inkzall. Now, I know before you change anything, don't hit next, don't hit stop. This is good stuff right here, I hope. I haven't been this excited about a writing utensil since the Bic Eraser Mate back in the 80s. You know what I mean? You can write in ink on paper and then turn around and erase any mistake just like it was pencil. It was right up there with like that watch calculator. Anyway, so I mean, this thing looks really cool. I'm almost sold. I did buy it, but I'm not sold on it yet. Let's check it out. It's supposed to be clog resistant, writes on dust, wet, oily surfaces, has a hard hat clip, although I think it has more uses than just a hard hat clip. It writes on PVC plumbing pipe, regular pipe, looks like ductwork, steel and ironwork, wood, brick, and concrete block. But for today's purposes, demonstrations, I'm just going to use this 2x6 wood right here. And I'm going to compare it against the tried and true, well-known brand of Sharpie. We all know Sharpie, right? I got to do the hand behind focus thing, I guess. The old Sharpie permanent marker. Fine point. Focus, please. Wow. Now I know why other channels might get so upset about their focusing. Anyway, it is a Sharpie fine point permanent marker. There we go. Yeah. So I'm going to be comparing it side by side. But this is the one that really advertises itself as writes on dust, wet, oily surfaces. Not to mention the hard hat clip, which I will be going over, up to 72-hour cap off life. That I'm not going to test in this video. Who has 72 hours for a homemade video, right? Not to mention about any video unless it's to do with the Avengers or Star Wars or something. Anti-roll design, definitely be getting into that. And the lanyard hole, because we're going to be keeping score of Sharpie versus Milwaukee on. I guess I got to keep my hand behind this. Sharpie versus Milwaukee. Who has the best 97-cent tool? I would say it's under $1, but that's just the tag price. But then you got taxes and et cetera, et cetera. But it's about $1. Let's just leave it at that. It's $1 tool. This is pretty exciting. So without further ado, let's break this thing open and let's put it up against the old Sharpie. Of course, using my Car Tool Incorporated USA solid aluminum handle razor knife. Man, I love this razor knife. I've had it for over 20 years and I will not replace it. Got a rasp for smoothing off the edges of sheetrock and everything. Man, this thing just, I'm not going to replace it. I think they went out of business because it was so good. 15, 20 bucks back in 2000, so I guess it might run you 20, 25 bucks nowadays. Anyway, I'm getting off topic, so let's rip into this thing. One of these two is getting ruined, I promise you. So, good thing to have backups, which I do. First things first, I want to cover the casing of this. My goodness, I'm not AVE and getting into the stamp of the material and whatnot, but this thing feels, I know it's glass fiber reinforced, but let's just call it what it is. It's fiberglass, okay? This thing is fiberglass. And it's a lot more durable by the feel than your standard, but yet dependable, glossy plastic Sharpie fine point permanent marker. Yeah. All right, I don't have time to wait for that. Anyway. So, first things first, right out of the gate, 1 point for Milwaukee for having the better fiberglass casing. I mean, this thing is just, I don't know if it's the same material that they use for their power tools, but this is definitely a fiberglass casing marker. Something you would want to have on the job site for dependability, without a doubt. Just to be clear, this is the 4822-3100. Not to be confused with the 4822-3101, which also has a stylus at the end. Man, Milwaukee is getting to be something to be envied. Focus, you doggone thing. 4822-3101 with a stylus, which this is not, but it's good to keep a lookout for, I guess. So first things first, other than the casing right out of the gate, man, I mean, that's just great. It brags about, let's see here, the hard hat clip. Well, before that, I want to get into the, what they call it, the lanyard hole. Yeah, let me aim you right up here, and we're going to see what's going to happen. That little bitty hole right there. So you need to hang it up. No complications whatsoever. It's a miracle. With the Sharpie, that's not the Milwaukee's fault, it's my hanger's fault. With the Sharpie, I mean, I guess you could clip it like that, I guess, but I'm not one for ruining my clips. That right there is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Now, what else does it brag about here? The anti-roll design. That is really cool, which I am proud to say somebody figured it out. Okay, now this bench right here comes at a pitch. Anything that's on here will roll this way. Proof, no cap. Put Sharpie on there, and okay. Put the cap back on that. Cap off of this one. Here we go. If you roll it hard enough, of course, it will roll, but it stops. If you just let it go right off of a gravitational pull, I mean, it kind of force it. This thing's not going to roll away on you because it's got that little fin, or that little nub right there. I mean, so simple. Genius lies in simplicity. It's awesome. Just that little thing, just a little ridge. Anyway, moving on. I guess the next test would be, oh, by the way, what are we up to? About 2 points for Milwaukee, 0 for Sharpie. You know what? I would give Sharpie a point just for being Sharpie, because they were like the OGs, the original gangsters of marks a lot and permanent markers. I'll give Sharpie a point just for the name. Okay, so we're up like what, 2-1, 3-1? I'm not even keeping count. So far, Milwaukee has the lead. I am impressed with this little $1 guy right here, the 3100. Obviously, the next test would be, David, does it work? Well, let's find out. Got this regular 2x6 board right here. Miracle. It works. Right there. Here, I'll make you another one. Yep, works. Let's go for the Milwaukee. I mean, this is being silly, I know, but let's just be sure that these things work. Look at there. Also seems to be a bit more brilliant, if you ask me, in my opinion. There's the 2 Sharpies, and then there's the 1 Milwaukee. Moving on. The next thing that it brags about, I think we've covered the back of the lanyard hole, the hard hat clip. No, the hard head clip, yeah. Now, let's just say we want to hang this thing up. You know, I want to set it down somewhere. Bear with me on here on this camera. And I just want to set it down, but, you know, I just got to put my pen down here somewhere. I just want to hang it up and boom. Look at there, a vertical hang. Yeah, sorry about all that. Because of that clip. I don't know if you can see that real well. Look at that. That is B-A-D to the B-O-N-E. I tell you, that is cool. Sharpie. Yeah, I want to hang it vertically. Well, I mean, I guess you could. To a certain extent. Uh-oh. Didn't mean to do that. I mean, this is the best you're going to get. Now imagine that on a hard hat. But Milwaukee, end of discussion. It's hanging there vertically or, geez, that stuff, don't buy that. It's pure crap. I just want to set it up there. Done. Sharpie, I want to set it up there. Well, I guess I got to set it down in there or do it vertically. Yep, another point for Milwaukee. I don't even know the score. You tell me. Leave it in the comments down below. I don't even know. Next on the discussion, per Milwaukee, rights on dust. Let's find that out. Well, I don't normally have like dust at my immediate disposal, so I'm just borrowing a little bit of the hush. Don't snitch me out now. I'll borrow a little bit of the Weiss flour here. Yeah, that'll just about do it. Because you shouldn't write through dust, but you know you're gonna have that apprentice who's just like, man, I gotta make this mark right here, you know. And not that all apprentices are stupid. They just don't know. And then of course you're gonna have that one who just doesn't care to know, and they're gonna come through. Man, that is a bit much. They're just gonna come through and do whatever it takes. Oh, you told me to make the mark. So here we go. Sharpie first. Let's see what happens here. Made his mark, and yet it still has, you know, of course it's gonna have debris on it. Let's take a closer look at that. Made his mark. So Sharpie's holding on to Milwaukee's claims. Let's go Milwaukee. Well, I'll be doggone, there's not near as much on that Milwaukee as there is on that Sharpie. Focus, you doggone thing, man. I understand why other channels get so upset about their stuff not focusing. But anyway, you get to just, look at there. Yeah, okay. And let's get a close-up on that. I would say that the Milwaukee wins that. So that's another point for the Milwaukee Inkzall. Okay, what's next on the list? They brag about wet. Let's get this thing wet, huh? Not only do they say it writes on dust, wet, and oily, we're gonna write on a dusty, wet, and oily surface. Okay, so now we're gonna go for dusty and wet. Just so happens the wife has here on our compilation of chemicals some Windex multi-surface. Clean it, which is absolutely what. Let's get this thing pumped up here. I ain't scared. Let's put this thing to the test, right? First, we're gonna go Sharpie. I don't know how it's gonna handle after it's already been through the dust. Let's go. Wow, it's more of a scraper now, really, than it is a marker. Maybe the Milwaukee do the same thing. I don't know. How did it do on its mark? Well, I mean, it's there. Question mark. Now we're going to do the Milwaukee. See, now that also acted as a scraper. Wow, I got to get that crap off. I don't care the make of the marker. I'm not going to keep that crap on a marker. Sharpie, Milwaukee. Sharpie, Milwaukee. Not bad for 97 cents. Okay, now the next one. What did they brag about? Oily. Let's go for an oily surface. Just so happens I happen to have some Pull-On Pro bar and chain oil here. Yeah, that ought to make it nice and oily. Let's see what's going to happen on this. This is basically almost like 90 weight oil. Oh, we're just going to wipe it all in there. Make you want a little more? Yeah, why not? A little more in there. My hands are becoming a mess, which is okay. I work with my hands. That's all right. Sharpie. Straight up run. Man, that thing's sticking to it. There's your Sharpie. Now we're going to go for Milwaukee. Sharpie, Milwaukee. Kind of comparable. As far as the marking abilities go, I have to give it a pretty much even score. Not too bad. I'm impressed with the Sharpie. I thought Milwaukee was going to blow out the water, but Sharpie is holding its own. Next, what I want to do is, after I clean up all this god-awful mess, is I'm going to put these casings through a durability test, because on the job sites, as we all know, they can get dropped, walked on, run over, what have you. And I will get back with you on that here shortly. All right, now I'm on the roof of my house because I'm going to take these markers and throw them down onto that driveway to simulate the dropping of a marker from, say, a scissor lift or a scaffold or whatnot. So here goes. Well, looks like the Milwaukee lost its cap. And the Sharpie stayed on. As far as damage, no, nothing to really speak of. Nope, both are just fine. Nope, just fine. Now I weigh about 220 pounds, so I'm just gonna walk on these things because that can happen on a job site. There's that one. No problem. And that's that one. Well, they can both take a walking on pretty good. Zero damage. Zero damage to either one of them. Now with this trunk full of 8 bags of red mulch, we're gonna run these things over. How about that? First, we're gonna go, let's say, the Sharpie. Impressive. I am very impressed with that. That Sharpie is not hurt in the slightest. All right, let's try the Milwaukee. They both passed the test. How impressive is that? We're gonna break these things. We're gonna see what it takes to break these things. All right, we're gonna see what it's gonna take to break one of these things with this here table vise. Let's go for the Sharpie first. I'm pinching in until I can't move it. The clip is not gonna come into play. Okay, right there, I can't move it. So, watching this right here, let's see how much it takes. Going to a half a turn. 3/4. Wow, that's a full turn. That's a turn and a half. I hear it. 2 turns, good grief. That's as tight as I get it. I'll give it to Sharpie flexibility. Now for the Milwaukee. You're gonna start this at right here. There we go. Half, full. I'm hearing something. And there goes the ink. It's spilling all down in here. Yup. So give it to Sharpie for that. There you go. I don't know the full tally. Leave it in the comments down below what you think. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. God bless.